Worst tarot questions ever. What is one thing that you should never ask a tarot reader? If you want to know, watch this video.
I'm Heather.
And I'm David
From ZenRoseGarden.com,
home of Zen Ed Academy.
And we're going to get into that right now.
Every reader has a secret list of wacky and dreaded questions that clients will ask.
And we have heard them all. Or maybe not all, because we'll get a weird one this week coming in. But they can get pretty cray-cray, right? And borderline ethical even sometimes, like, when will I die? Or is my new neighbor sleeping with his secretary?
Hashtag none of your business.
And then your business. So, or the ever popular, I love this one, was I abducted by aliens?
Hashtag, in fact, am I an alien?
Well, you are, but yeah, that's not public knowledge yet. So,
I am.
Or the just plain weird, did that last tarot card reader curse me?
Now, if you get one of those, give them their money back right now and refuse the reading. We're going to save you so much trouble with that one.
Because they'll be giving you a 1-star review on Yelp and they'll be asking the next reader about you.
But one that can be a total hit or miss is the client who has no question and just wants to see whatever comes up.
So there is some debate on this one. I see both sides of the question out there, but personally, I think that it has more to do with the reader than the clients.
Stop for a minute though, because I think it should be a given that we're not talking about a client who might have a particular strong question in their head and withhold that information until the cards are laid out and some things reveal themselves.
So I think that's okay.
Not who we're talking about.
I think that's okay because they know exactly what the question is.
Right. Also, not the, hey, let's get a reading and see what happens kind of late night psychic joyride clients that are kind of drunk jerks.
Again, you should not even be taking clients like that. You're asking for trouble.
Yeah, we're talking about the client who just wants to see whatever comes up because they don't really know what to ask.
So, I want to clarify this because I hear this so much out there. In one of the first readings that I ever got, I didn't know what or how to ask a question. I was just a little bit lost at that time in my life. And once I started giving readings myself in my professional life and experienced it on the flip side, I remember how good this reader was. He was an older gentleman that had been around the block a few times, probably was still alive in the spiritualist era. I don't know, he was like 110, but he let the cards just speak. He tapped into my energy and he gave me a reading that I still, to this day, go back and refer to.
So the idea that if you don't have a specific question, your reader won't be able to give you a super specific answer might have started from some readers with less experience who are not used to flying without a net.
That's the thing.
Skill set.
That's the thing. So that's why I'm calling BS on this
Yes.
one. I think if you as a client take a reading seriously and don't know what to ask, honestly, and want to see what comes up, it is perfectly fine. You might be like I was back then, kind of a little lost and in need of an emotional realignment and direction. I mean, I couldn't see myself, but because my reader was really good, they saw me and were super specific in the reading that they gave me.
Absolutely. And in my experience, when someone comes without a question and they're kind of in that shock state, they're in some kind of trauma or crisis and can barely remember their name, much less be able to formulate some kind of a clear question.
So giving a detailed message for a client who doesn't know what to ask comes with experience and a deep knowing of the tarot language, and you're going to get better at it little by little. I just don't want you to get it set in your mind that they have to come with like this super specific essay on what they want to know.
No. I mean, just knowing the tarot language alone, even without adding your special spice and intuitive abilities to go deeper, can get really detailed, pretty detailed and intense all by itself. So if you're going in for a reading, you have good intentions, and if your reader is sensitive enough to be guided into what you need and they're not afraid to fly without a net, there is a potential for a very deep reading like the one that James gave you years ago.
Yeah, you remembered his name. James was his
Yep.
name. That was like 35 years ago.
That's how good he was.
Well, I have read, okay, that you should not expect a great reading if you aren't prepared with a specific question. And if you're wishy-washy, so will your cards be. And I don't think that is necessarily true. Sometimes yes, okay, but a great deal depends on your reader.
The cards play with your energy, and they're going to call you on it if you're not showing up for yourself.
But they're also going to bring to light what you were afraid to ask, right? I mean, I've given readings for people that they were just so afraid to ask the question and sometimes can't even formulate the question if you have a reader that can go deep.
This, to me, is very similar to going to a psychologist and not having a question. A good psychologist will be able to help you with what you need without knowing what your initial question is. Since you've watched this far, be sure to check out the goodies that we've got for you. The link is in the description below. If you like this video,
hit that like button.
And if you want to see more videos like this,
be sure to subscribe.
And spank the bell to turn notifications on.
So you're the first to know
when we drop a new video.
Or go live.
And now it's time to check out these videos.
So